Phoebe Handsjuk was just 24 years old, an avid climber, martial artist, and a fiercely independent young woman with a creative spirit. But on December 2nd, 2010, her life ended in one of the most disturbing and unexplained cases in Australian history you may have never heard. That evening, Phoebe was found in the refuse room of her high-rise apartment building in Melbourne, her body broken after a 12-story fall down the building's garbage chute. Authorities quickly ruled her death a tragic accident, but her family and many forensic experts believe something far more sinister occurred. Born May 9, 1986, Phoebe was the eldest of 3 siblings. Raised in a warm, tight-knit household, she was known for her adventurous spirit, creative mind, and fierce compassion. Her father, Len, was a psychiatrist. Her mother, Natalie, described her as magnetic, someone who embraced life deeply, wrote poetry, and wasn't afraid to ask big questions. But like many young people, Phoebe faced emotional challenges. In her teens, she struggled with depression and began experimenting with drugs and alcohol. She ran away from home for a time, staying with an older man and his child, but returned and began therapy. Over the years, she sought support and remained closely connected to her family. In 2009, Phoebe was working as a receptionist at a hair salon in South Yarra when she met Anthony Hampel, a 39-year-old events promoter and son of former Supreme Court Judge George Hampel. He was older, affluent, and well-connected. They began dating, and within months, Phoebe moved into his luxury apartment at the Balencia complex on St. Kilda Road. But the relationship quickly became toxic. Phoebe's drinking escalated, and her mental health declined. She confided in her psychiatrist that Hampel was verbally abusive. Friends and family noted that she attempted to leave him multiple times, breaking up with him 4 times in the final 6 weeks of her life. Each time, he convinced her to come back. Her employer later said, "Phoebe was supposed to just have fun and move on, but she got pulled in." That morning, Phoebe was seen on CCTV leaving the apartment around 11:44 a.m. to walk her dog after a fire alarm. She returned shortly after. For the rest of the day, she was reportedly alone. At around 6 p.m., Anthony Hampel claimed he returned home to find a troubling scene: broken glass on the floor, blood on the keyboard, and no sign of Phoebe. But her personal items, her purse, keys, and wallet, were left untouched in the apartment. 2 wine glasses sat on the table. They were never tested for fingerprints. Later that night, Phoebe's body was discovered in the refuse room at the bottom of the building's garbage chute. Her foot had nearly been severed by the compactor blade. She had a blood alcohol content of 0.16, more than 3 times the legal limit, and traces of the prescription sleeping pill, Stilnox, also known as Zolpidem, were found in her system. Police concluded she had entered the garbage chute voluntarily, possibly while sleepwalking, and ruled her death a freak accident. The case was closed in just 5 days, but that conclusion never sat right with her family, or with many experts. The garbage chute was incredibly narrow, only 14.5 by 8.6 inches. Fitting inside it required an intentional and coordinated effort. Even sober, it was difficult. Impaired, it was nearly impossible. Phoebe's grandfather, Lorne Campbell, a retired homicide detective, was one of the first family members to arrive on the scene. From the moment he saw the conditions of the apartment and the location of her body, he believed foul play had occurred. He was not alone in that view. A replica chute was built to test whether it was physically possible for someone of Phoebe's height and build to climb in alone. The results were telling. Fit, sober individuals found it extremely difficult. Former Victoria Police Detective Roland Legg described how the chute door pressed against a person's lower back, making maneuvering nearly impossible, especially for someone under the influence of alcohol and sedatives. The police theory also failed to explain other red flags. All of Phoebe's sent emails had been deleted. One of her mobile phones went missing, and was never recovered. Investigators ignored bloody footprints and shoe prints in the hallway outside the apartment. Forensic evidence, like the wine glasses and the blood on the computer keyboard, was never properly documented or tested. Then there was the strange text Phoebe sent to her family the night before she died. "Hi, family. I am in bed about to sleep, and when I wake, I will transform into the most incredible human being, sick, you've ever seen. Not, I will go to hospital. It's safer there, and I hear the special tonight is tomato soup. Delicious, nutritious." Merrily, merrily, merrily. Her family found it deeply unsettling. Erratic and unlike her, they tried to reach her. Hampel responded that she was fine and just sleeping off a bender. By the time they got the call, she was already dead. In 2013, after raising $50,000, Phoebe's mother pushed for a formal inquest into her daughter's death. Despite numerous experts casting doubt on the official findings, the coroner upheld the original conclusion that Phoebe had climbed into the chute while sleepwalking. Anthony Hampel was never charged, nor formally considered a suspect. He has always maintained his innocence. But years later, another troubling incident reignited concern. In 2018, Hampel dated 25-year-old model Baye Schneider. Just hours after the two broke up, she was found dead at her family's home, strangled with a gold cord. Her death was also ruled a suicide. Her parents do not believe it. In 2018, the Victorian government passed reforms expanding the ability to appeal coronial findings. The deadline to file a challenge was extended from 28 days to 3 months, an acknowledgement that justice, especially in complex deaths, often takes time. Still, as of 2024, the ruling in Phoebe Handsjuk's death remains unchanged. A tragic accident. Her case is considered closed. Unless new evidence emerges, the official record will stay that way. But for Phoebe's family, the questions remain. They continue to fight, not just for their daughter, but for every family told to accept the unacceptable. Her mother Natalie once said, "Nothing will ever be the same for us." And for anyone who's heard Phoebe's story, it's hard not to agree. At Echoes and Evidence, we share the stories of those who were silenced, too soon, too strangely, and too easily dismissed. Phoebe Handsjuk's case may be closed, but the doubts still linger. The questions still echo. And sometimes the only way forward is to keep asking. If this story moved you, share it, because silence only protects the guilty. Subscribe to Echoes and Evidence for more untold truths. Until next time, keep asking the hard questions.